Hi, and welcome back to Fit Fed Feeling Good. I am Meg, your host, and this is the podcast where we talk all things fitness, food, and feeling good. Happy Wednesday. Today is a food episode as promised. We talked about last week, how to replicate a little bit of the gym in the house. And I said we'd have a food episode. So as promised, here we go. There are a few quick recipes that are well known, let's say, but I want to make a little bit of a variation off of these three items. So quick dinners, quick breakfasts, even quick lunches, warm, nourishing, and yummy and delicious. So the first one, we are going to talk about the good old egg sandwich. Now, here we go. My mouth is watering because the last egg sandwich I made, it was a dream worthy. It was so tasty, so delicious, and using most of the products that we typically have. Now, the one product I think that might need to be searched out or added to a pantry is that ever so loved Trader Joe's chili onion oil crunch spread, drizzle, whatever you would call it. I think it adds a nice little spice to any dish. It adds, maybe not any dish, but a little bit of a spice. There is a back sweetness to it. I want to talk about this egg sandwich, depending if you like a runny egg or a scrambled egg. My first bread of choice for this would either be a really good piece of sourdough or maybe a half of ciabatta. And we're going to toast that right before the egg is done. So we're going to toast our half a ciabatta, piece of sourdough or bread of choice, little bit of butter, spread. Now, I think the butter is optional, but then we're going to put on a thin layer. I actually kind of loaded it on, but this will be your preference. A thin layer of small curd cottage cheese. I know this doesn't sound great for an egg sandwich right now, but believe me, it makes it creamy, and the egg and the other items almost take away from the cottage cheese. So we have the bread, tiny bit of butter if you choose, optional, the spread of sour cottage cheese or a dollop of it. And then I made an over easy egg with a runny yolk. You could make a simple scrambled egg if you like. So then we're going to slide our scrambled egg on top or our runny egg, and then a good amount of that Trader Joe's chili oil, onion crunch oil topping. Now, what I added at the very end, and it was a little amount, it was a very small amount. I drizzled a tiny bit of honey to complement the spice of the oil. My first bite of this all together, it was singing. My taste buds were singing. It was creamy, it was salty, it was spicy, it was sweet, it was crunchy from the bread, the toasted bread. It was warm, it was cool with that cottage cheese. I think it hit every mark. If you wanted to elevate it with a little more nutrition, I think if you did a scrambled egg, you could put spinach, a little bit of red, yellow, or orange bell pepper, chop that up, maybe some mushrooms, make a really, really hearty scrambled egg with vegetables. Top that on, but still add the other items. It was really tasty. It took, I want to say, no longer than 7 minutes if you're really taking your time to get your ingredients, heat up your pan, and then put it together. Very simple, delicious. Cleanup was a breeze. And I highly recommend this little bit of a strange but elevated egg sandwich. Very, very, very tasty. Okay, my second item is playing off this same breakfast, lunch, dinner idea is the good old BLT. Now, BLT, I'm thinking the classic white bread, little mayonnaise, bacon, lettuce, and tomato, right? Slice it on the diagonal, crunchy sandwich. You have the saltiness and the chewiness from the bacon, the pop of freshness from the tomato, the crunch from the lettuce, and the warm from the bread. Can't go wrong, right? But let's elevate it. Maybe you want to add that runny egg or the scrambled egg. Maybe you want to do the vegetables with the scrambled egg, or maybe you want to do fresh vegetables on top of your toast with the mayonnaise so it really sticks on there. Maybe you want to do spinach and lettuce or some sort of garden mix with your greens. Delicious. Maybe you want to add a little bit of special sauce. So I would encourage you to play around with that standard BLT and add a couple extra letters in there and come up with something really fun. Maybe you're going to spell your name with that BLT and think of the ingredients that would go along with that. I think the BLT is a great start for a wonderful meal, especially if you're careful on how much bacon or sodium that you're adding. But it's a great time to use those garden fresh tomatoes. I have two absolutely beautiful, huge, ripe, farm grown tomatoes, and they are just calling my name. So I'm excited to use those for some sort of elevated BLT. Okay, now my third one that I want to talk about, I'm going back to eggs. I guess I'm thinking about eggs a lot today, and it's the egg salad. Now, the reason I'm talking about egg salad is because I have always made my egg salad the very same way every single time I've made it for my whole life, but I'm rethinking this idea because I have seen some videos of people making it more like deviled egg salad. So when I make egg salad, my mom had this egg slicer that you would put your peeled boiled eggs in, and you'd pull down the top and it would slice the egg in beautiful slices, and then you'd rotate that egg, and then you'd have perfectly sized chunks in your egg salad. And then you would do the standard mayonnaise, maybe Miraquip. I don't know. Miraquip and mayonnaise, there's a big love-hate relationship a lot of people have with either mayonnaise or Miraquip. And then onion, celery, salt, pepper, and then your egg. That's, I think, kind of the standard, but you can, of course, play with this. Now, the recipe I have been seeing is what I kind of said just a little while ago. It's very much like the way you would make deviled eggs. You take the yolks out first before you chop the white. So you slice your hard-boiled egg in half, take the yolks out, put all the yolks together, and you mash, 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 mash. And then you add, maybe you're adding just a tiny bit of mustard, whether it's a whole grain or a ground or just yellow, and your mayonnaise, and you mix that up. So almost a sauce. And then you will toss in your vegetables. You will fold in your chopped egg whites. And that looks so good to me. I've never made it like that. It's on deck for next week for me to make egg salad, and I'm going to try it like this. So I will have to let you all know how that goes. But I'm going to give it a try. So if you have maybe a salad or a breakfast or a dinner or lunch item that you really enjoy and you'd love to share about it, please put it in the comments because I just love hearing about new recipes, and especially if they're simple and they're quick and they hit all of those components of sweet and salty and creamy and warm and crunchy. Nothing better. So I would love to hear from you of the fun recipes that you have that maybe you have tried or maybe you have done a fun variation off of. So my tip this week, it's probably not even a tip because we all do it. I want you to play along with, if you have something you enjoy, what can you do to it to just elevate it a little bit, make it a little fancy or fun, maybe serve it on a really pretty plate and maybe put a little bit of chopped blueberries or strawberries if you have on the side. Of course, watch your ingredients. If you're allergic to anything, be careful of what the package label says and always follow your physician directives. All right, this is Fit Fab Feeling Good. Thanks for joining along with this conversation. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Wednesday with more fitness, food, and feeling good. This is entertainment only. I am not a doctor, nor am I a counselor. Please listen to your physician before you follow any exercise routine or any guidance, and seek professional care if needed.